This is Windbound. I'm actually recording this audio after I played this game because I wasn't sure if I was going to turn this into a video. So this is all being added in post-production right here. There's a couple different difficulties. So there's like a survival mode and an endless mode and stuff, but I'm just going to be playing on adventurer because that seems to be the default difficulty. I also noticed after I stopped playing this game, after an hour, that there's an endless free sail mode. I guess it's not endless, just called free sailing, where you can basically just sail around and without, I guess, the survival elements and stuff, you know, no dangers, stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting. I picked up this game a long time ago when it was on sale and only got to it like recently, so I just thought it looked interesting, and it is kind of interesting. We'll get into the game in a second. This is a story. Getting some Link's Awakening vibes right here. See what I mean? Oh, big fish. In fact, it's probably a kraken. So I remember when this first happened, I'm like, am I dead? Like, is that going to be the twist of the game? Like, I'm like dead or something? And considering what I've played through so far, it's possible. There seems to be a huge spiritual thing going on with this game, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a twist at the end where it's like, oh, you were dead the whole time or something like that. You know, it looks like I'm like the gates to some sort of spirit realm or something. Or who knows, maybe you got transported back into the past or something, who knows. In what little I've played so far, I haven't come across another person in this world, so it's like, yeah, it seems really weird. Like, something's definitely up. I guess that's kind of the mystery of the whole thing. Don't estimate crobsters. I don't even know what crobsters are. I haven't met one yet. But don't you love it when loading screens just spoil stuff? I love it when games do that. So we wake up on this little desert island. You can see some storms going on in the background. Very ominous. And this is basically a survival crafting kind of game. And I don't usually play those kind of games. They're usually not my cup of tea. Like, I'm not against like crafting and stuff. Crafting is usually really fun in games and stuff. But, yeah, Lost Islands Chapter 1. But when it comes to survival, I'm not a huge fan of that because this game, like a lot of other games, has a hunger meter. And that's a little yellow bar you see near my health. And I never liked games like that. Babysitting like your protagonist with stuff like hunger and stuff was always annoying. Like, imagine if you played Breath of the Wild, but you had to keep Link fed, not because of his health, but because of a hunger meter. Like, that would just be annoying. And it's stressful too, because you always got to keep an eye on that. And if you don't have any food, it's like, well, guess I'll die. So as you can see, I'm collecting a lot of rocks and grass here. Very useful for a lot of stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I wasn't really like sure if I wanted to turn this into a video, or even like live stream it, because it's like there's gonna be a lot of times where I'm just walking around collecting crafting material and stuff like that, because you got to do it. Like, you shouldn't skip all this stuff. You're gonna need it. So it's not the most entertaining gameplay in the world, but I still find this game pretty interesting in a way. You just gotta wait a little while till you get to it. Also, one of the reasons I picked this up is because I wanted a Wind Waker like type of game where you just sail around and stuff in an open world and stuff, and that's what this game promises. And while it takes a little bit to get there, you do get to it eventually. And it is kind of nice. It's nice to sail around and stuff. Of course, you gotta keep an eye on your hunger meter. You can't just go willy-nilly. And I remember thinking to myself right here, I'm like, can I swim? And I was like, ow, whoops. Somehow that was fall damage. There is fall damage in this game, and somehow landing in water and not even really touching those rocks kind of hurt me, but whatever. So your yellow bar is not only your hunger meter, but your stamina meter. So when your hunger meter goes down, it also means you have less stamina. So you really got to keep that up, not just because you want to keep yourself alive, but without it, you don't have any stamina. Like I said, not exactly something I'm huge on, but, you know, it is what it is. If you ever wanted to, I haven't tried out the free sailing mode, but I'm guessing maybe the hunger meter's not a part of free sailing. So if you ever want a free sailor, I guess maybe you can do that. I don't know. I'll check it out some other time. But anyway, yeah, you get a lot of stuff to craft. This is when I first started realizing what wildlife is around. And you can craft a whole bunch of stuff. So not a lot of stuff happens in this first like bit of the gameplay. Just me reading a bunch of menus and seeing what I need. Try to make a mental note of what I could need or use. Going around picking up rocks. Because why not? And then I was like, oh, hey, creature. Give me a creature. And of course, get the berries. You're going to need them. And as you see, the creature goes into its little home, and I'm like, huh, I wonder if I can do anything with that. And apparently you can. You can dig, but you need the right tool. Which I don't have yet. And I actually do not get it. I have not gotten it yet. Because in order to make these tools, you need these materials that are clearly coming from big enemies that I cannot fight yet. So it's one of those games where you gotta put off fighting for now until you can craft weapons and stuff like that. Because all I have right now is a dinky little knife, which doesn't do much. But you apparently are able to craft stuff like spears and other stuff eventually. So not a ton to say. As of right now, I'm just going around rock. Rock. You are a rock. And just picking up a whole bunch of stuff because I never know. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to need this stuff. So whenever I play these kind of games that have crafting and stuff like that, I always pick up everything because you never know. I may not have any recipes with rocks right now, but when I do, I'm going to be set, you know, kind of thing. That's my mentality. So I just pick up everything, which is riveting gameplay to watch, I know. But it is what it is. What, I'm not going to collect stuff that would help me in the future? I'm pretty sure this first island only has like rocks and grass and stuff and a little creature. I wasn't even sure if I could do anything with the creature. I tried running up and talking to it or interacting with it, and I'm like, hey, yeah, what do you do? What do you do? Come here. What are you doing? And that's when I realized, oh, you can slash. And boom. You can kill the wildlife. And harvest their organs. Surprisingly, though, this one doesn't drop any meat or anything. Other enemies do, but those little things do not. I guess they're just made of fluff. So I saw something sparkling in the distance. That's why I decided to go back here. This is actually where you first wash up. But I saw like a beam of light coming out of the ocean. So I'm like, oh, let me see what that's all about. But as it turns out, it's actually nothing. See the little sparkly over there? Yeah, see it's coming out of the ocean. So I wanted to see what that was, but you of course can't reach it. And I actually do find it later on, but I have no way to like go under the water. Like apparently you can't dive underwater from out of the gate. I guess that's something you have to unlock, or maybe something you get for your boat that can like grab stuff under the water. But as of right now, I can't do anything. Okay, yeah, don't jump in this time. Don't take the fall damage. I think it was around this point where I started to realize that my stamina meter like was going permanently down. Like I always saw it draining when I was running and swimming and stuff, but now I'm like, oh wait, it's permanently going down. That's when I realized, oh, this is a hunger meter. Like that's what that's all about. And that's what I was considering, do I want to keep going? Because I'm like, oh, I hate hunger meter so much. You know, it's just something I really don't like. But I decided to keep going, because why not? It's just started. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, we'll have to see, because those things can be really annoying. If this was just like Breath of the Wild, where I can just collect stuff and make stuff and not have to worry about hunger, that'd be perfectly fine. But I'm playing a video game. I don't want to have to worry about stuff like hunger. Also, one thing I just thought about right now is that there's no way to pause the game. At least not that I can see. Every time I brought up the menu, I thought it paused it, but I find out a bit later on that that is not the case. So I'm like, what if I have to stop the game to like go to the bathroom or something? Like, does my character just keep getting hungry and like slowly die as I'm away from the game or something? I don't know. This is when I found out that combat is a thing. Yeah, it doesn't go too well for me because I just have a knife, and I'm like, is there no dodge rolls or anything like that? And then that's when it tells me how to lock on and do dodges. I'm like, oh yeah, thanks. Thanks for telling me that after it happened. This game actually has a habit of doing that, telling me useful stuff after it's useful. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And this is when I realized that there's limited inventory. Another annoyance in these kind of games. So I'm like, okay, eat the berry. And now get the meat. But of course, this meat is raw. So I'm like, whoa, I should not have eaten that raw meat. Yeah, you gotta learn how to make a fire first. And then cook it, which actually takes so long that by the time it's finished, your hunger has already gone down quite a bit. So it's like, well, did it really help? It does, by the way. It does fill up a lot of the health. The cooked meat actually does do a lot. So it's still worth it, but it's still kind of annoying that you have to wait so long for it to cook, and you'll see that later on. And this is when I get bones. Yeah, kill the animals, get their bones, and now I harvest their soul. You can also get skin from them and stuff like that. And, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You see the crest and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's coming from some big enemies that I see later on that I can't kill. So I'm just not sure how I'm going to make a lot of these tools and stuff when I can't take down any of those bigger enemies. Like, I wasn't doing very well against a small, like warthog kind of thing. How am I going to beat any of the bigger enemies? Okay, then we come across these things. I'm not sure what I'm going to call them. I guess kind of like shrines, where you got to go to them and you get stuff. As so far in this game, I haven't been able to find like a map or anything, which makes me worried for the future because I have a terrible sense of direction and I'm afraid I'm going to like tread old ground and stuff like that. But I guess exploration is just part of the whole thing. And here you get the ore. Nice. And you will use this to paddle across the sea. But first, I gotta make a boat. The ore of the ancients. Or the ancestors, I should say. I thought it was ore of the ancients. Yep, and all of a sudden, I know how to make a boat. That's why going to these things is important. It like unlocks stuff. Not just the ore, but now I know how to make a boat suddenly. Just magically, the knowledge came to me. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that you just get right away. You can even like trick out your boat with stuff. You can give it a sail, you can give it a basket to help with inventory and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like, I think this is going to be my favorite part of the game is the boat stuff. I want to make a nice boat and just sail the ocean. See what I come across. That's what I wanted to do with this game in the first place. And there we go. Just like that, I have a boat. And you push it out. Push the boat out. And get on it, and you get to row. And just like that, we are on our adventure. And our first little island right here, very easy to get to. Obviously has a thing you're supposed to unlock. And yeah, and a lot of more rocks and grass for me to collect. I love how it's giving you a jump tutorial now. It's like, you think I haven't figured out how to jump at this point? Like I said, these tutorials are always coming way too late. Like, the first thing I do when I get into a game is press all the buttons to see what they do. And the first thing I found was the jump button. Now, every time I get one of these things, you'll see a number in the top left there, or top right, I should say, a number go up. I don't know what it is yet. Some sort of like spirit, like shard number or something. I don't know. And I don't know what these things do either. These beams that shoot up, because there's no like map or fast travel or anything. It's just a key, I guess. I guess it's just something you do. Saves your game though. I actually have no idea if this game has autosave or something. Oh, camera. Camera went a little wonky there. So yeah, you're just supposed to find these things, I guess, in a region. And once you do, you unlock more stuff. I don't know how important it is, like, because I don't know how much of this game is a open world, quote unquote. Like, can you really go anywhere, or do you have to like go to these places to unlock stuff in order to continue the game? I just don't know yet. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, where did I park my boat? I was actually really scared that it might have floated away or something, because I didn't remember where I parked. And I'm like, oh, there it is. So it's about this time where I'm like, I should probably craft some stuff. Get some stuff for my boat. I'm like, ooh, grass basket. That's good. I want some more inventory. Cool. And then I decided to get an anchor, because in case I drown, I can go to my boat instead of washing up on the shore. That sounded useful. I think this is the first time I actually got to use the rocks, too. You need rope for a lot of stuff, so collecting all the grass is just a good idea. But here's one thing I did find out that was kind of annoying, is that if you craft something, but you don't have enough inventory for it, it's like, well, you can still craft it, but you just can't pick it up. And I'm like, ugh, that's annoying. Inventory management, a big thing in these kind of games. Don't have a lot of inventory spots to begin with, so making those baskets was a good idea. Definitely got way too many rocks. And of course, the more islands you go to, the more new things you find, so it's, yeah, like I said, inventory management's always a pain. That's why I kind of liked in Breath of the Wild, like your inventory for your items, at least, not your weapons or anything, but your like crafting materials and stuff was pretty much infinite, you know, or at least it was very, very big. So you didn't have to worry about that. But in games like this, it's always an issue. I mean, the funny thing is, it's like, oh, that's realistic. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure if we were going for realism, I would immediately sink if I was carrying like 20 rocks with me. So yeah, not buying the whole realism thing. Besides, it's a video game. That's always got to be like the stupidest argument I ever hear when people try to defend stuff in games. Like, oh, it's realistic. It's like, it's a video game. It's not supposed to be realistic. Unless you're making a simulator game, like an incredibly realistic simulator, then who cares about realism? I play games to escape realism. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. This is nice. I just like sailing. I love the ocean, by the way. I'm terrified of it, but I love it. Because I know what's in there. I've always watched a lot of, documentaries and National Geographic specials on the ocean, stuff like that, because it's so fascinating. And I'll never go in there, so it's like, I'll just learn about it from afar. But yeah, look at that. That's nice. Sun's coming up. Waters are nice. And going on an adventure to a new island. Very nice. Really hope a monster like doesn't attack me on the ocean. Like, had that Kraken thing come back. That would not be relaxing. Going to a new island in this game is always exciting. You never know what you're going to get. There's something sleeping over there. So it's like, I always, yeah. So I was trying to sneak up on this thing, and I did. But the funny thing is there is actually a sneak button that the game doesn't tell me until a bit later. And I'm like, well, that would have been nice to know. Again, see, there you go. You told me a little bit too late there, game. So yeah, I was always hoping that these trees would have like fruit in them, so I wanted to go and try, and look what happened. Yeah. And I just ended up hurting myself. And there doesn't seem to be anything up there anyway. So that was weird. You can just T-pose up the trees. So I started wandering around, and then like, oh, look at those things. Yikes. I'm not taking those things down. But I'm pretty sure those have the materials that I need to make weapons and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna leave them alone for a while. Those things could probably one-shot me. In games like this anyway, I prefer to take things out from a distance. Like, I don't know if you can make arrows or something in this. You probably can at some point. Or something else. But until then, I'm not facing those things head on. Some berries. But those, yeah, I was always keeping my eyes on those things, so they don't seem to be hostile, as long as you don't get too near them and don't attack them. And I got a stick. Poke stuff with it. Yeah, that's when I noticed, like, oh, they noticed me. Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave you alone. I mean, I don't have no beef with you. And you see, they don't seem to be hostile, as long as you don't, like, get too close or anything, so... I never had any one of them charge me or anything, so just got to be careful. I think this is when I realized that going to the menu doesn't pause the game, because as I was going through this, they started getting closer and closer, and I'm like, oh god. So like I said, is there a way to pause this game at all? Because I would be so scared to leave the game to go do something. Whether it's going to the bathroom or just like having to stop for a moment because something else was going on. It's like, man, what do you do? The other thing about crafting is that it kind of tells you what you could possibly get later on. Like, oh, there's going to be bamboo eventually in this game, and there's going to be leather in this game, and all this other stuff. You know, it's like, okay, got to keep a mental note that I'm going to need all that stuff. And this is when I figured out that you could get these. I thought they were just part of the decoration. I didn't know you could actually get them. So I'm like, oh, got to get these now. This game made me realize, like, yeah, you got to check everything to make sure something is collectible. Something you think is part of the background or just part of the scenery, and it's like, nope, you can actually collect that. They do give off that little sparkle sometimes, but not always, so it can be easy to miss. You can create a drying rack. I wonder what you need that for. Oh, hello. Were you grazing over here? My bad. And there has to be two of them too. Like, even if I attacked one, I would aggro two of them. So it's like, man, just not Smart idea to attack them right now. And I almost forgot, like, there's, like, oh yeah, there's a shrine over here I should actually get to. I get so distracted in these kind of games. And this is when I realized that you need a axe for these kind of things. But how do you get an axe? Well, you need the jaw of something, which I'm going to guess is one of those things. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting an axe anytime soon. But I did realize you can get a bag. So that might be useful. And this is when I realized that you can't actually pick up the stuff you craft if your inventory's full. I was like, oh, come on. So I had to eat a berry. But hey, now I can make a bag, and now I have more inventory. But I can only have one bag equipped at a time. So it's not like you can create multiple bags. That would make it too easy, I guess, and too convenient. How dare you not let me cheat the game? You telling me I can, like, carry 20 rocks, but I can't carry 2 bags? So much for realism. Not that this game was going for realism, I'm just saying. It's just funny when you think about it. It's like, okay, this person can carry 20 rocks, but can't carry more than 1 bag. I don't know, it's funny. Video games are funny. It's one of the things like, yeah, we know, they just didn't want us to break the game right out of the gate, but still. You know, you got to earn stuff like this. There's probably going to be something later on where you probably get different recipes for bigger bags and stuff like that. Give me more of your spirit energy. Not a ton of explanation to what's going on, but I'm sure that'll be explained later. Or maybe it doesn't even matter, who cares? I just like sailing. And as much as I would like to just jump down off this tower, I probably would die. This protagonist can't fall for a very long of a distance before taking damage. I will admit, it's not like the hunger meter goes down insanely fast or anything, but it does make me not want to use up my stamina a lot, because if you use up all your stamina, then your hunger meter goes down faster, so it does make me not want to sprint or do anything else like that that lowers my stamina, because then it could go down really quickly. And you need a tool to dig these things, which I don't have. I wonder what that's supposed to give me, like more rocks? Or maybe it'll give me like clay or something, I don't know. I will admit that navigating the menu is a little tricky at first. Like I had to get the hang of it. It's not hard or anything, you just got to get used to it. Time to push the boat out. And on to that next island over there. Like I said, this is nice. Just enjoy the sailing a little bit. Nice little coral reef there, very colorful. And I went over here to see if I could like pick up seaweed, see if that's something that I could like use, because you never know. But as it turns out, no. Can't do anything with that. Just decoration. Also, you keep seeing the lightning in the distance. Made me think that a storm was going to come at some point, and I'd have to deal with that. But so far, no. I'm actually thinking that's maybe like the borders of the world. Like if you try to go too far, it'll say you can't go any further because of a storm or something like that. So that's probably what that is. Could you see it's like one huge ring around all the islands and stuff? So that's probably what it is. Now you can make a sail, and I kind of was wondering what's the point of that, because as you can see, rowing doesn't take away any stamina. So like, what's the point of a sail? Is it faster maybe? But then you have to like be sure the wind's going in the right way or something like that. So I'm not really sure what the point of the sail is. Now I remember going to this island and I saw that fire going. I'm like, oh my gosh, is there people here? I see a lot of animals and stuff, like, but no, there's no people. And the animals are faster than me. But there is some kind of glowing orb here, which teaches me how to parry. And you can make a counter mask, which makes it easier to parry. So it's kind of interesting that you can craft your own buffs. So yeah, there's just a fire here. I don't know who made it, but whatever. I really hope I get some kind of projectile weapon like a bow or something, because animals are annoying to try to take down by myself. Unless they just stand still like that. And of course there's more of those big guys over there. I never feel safe with those things walking around. Okay, time to climb this thing. Oops. I'm assuming these are kind of like tutorial islands. You know, because not much going on and they're all kind of similar. But we'll see. And that's all 3 of them. Again, still not sure exactly what they do, outside of saving my game. I thought something was going to happen, because that was like the 3rd one, and nothing really happened. So I'm not sure what they do. Maybe at some point I do unlock a fast travel or something? I don't know. I don't know, man. I like how when it's night, some of the animals are sleeping. The animals are just so much more faster than you, so you really got to like corner them if you want to have any chance of getting them. I'm really surprised that these trees don't have anything in them. Like, it doesn't even look like you can chop them down if you had an axe, because usually it would give me a prompt. So here I honestly was trying to like dodge and everything, but it seems like it always attacks as I'm attacking, so it's like I can't dodge it because I'm in the middle of attack animation. So it's like the dodge doesn't seem to be very good. Even in its dying breath, it tried to hit me. Get some skin and bones. And a rock. Okay, this is when I tried to do some cooking. And there you go, it's sitting right there. And as you can see, that little orange thing is filling up. That's how much it's cooked, and you gotta wait until it goes all the way around. It takes a while. So unfortunately, at this point, I just kind of stand there waiting for it to cook. I didn't want to go away and get distracted and then like burn the meats or something like that, because the meat's not exactly easy to get in this game. So I was like, I want to use it, you know, want to get the most out of it. Boy, does it take a while. And this message keeps popping up. I don't know how to get it to go away. I swear, I'm losing more hunger just as I'm standing here than doing anything else, just waiting for it to cook. To be fair, though, whenever meat is cooking like that, it does make me hungry. So maybe that is more realistic than I think. So how's everyone's day going? My day's going pretty good. Maybe later on you get some kind of like perk or better recipe, like you get a better burning fire or something like that. I don't know. Because that's just a small piece of meat. If it's a bigger piece of meat, it probably takes even longer to cook. Also, if I'm right about this, I haven't confirmed it, but the food you have doesn't last forever. Like it does spoil. You'll see, I think in my inventory, you'll see a little like bar on the left side of the food, and it goes down. And I'm like, is that like a freshness meter or something like that? So that's the other thing. You got to make sure you eat your food before it goes bad, I think. Another thing that's kind of annoying in these kind of games. But you know, whatever. It's still not the most punishing like hunger system I've seen. It's decently lenient, I guess. Except for maybe the cooking time. I know there are some games where it's just like constantly like bugging you that your character's hungry or something like that. It's just so annoying. This one doesn't seem too bad. At least not yet. I think I'm still in the tutorial phase, so who knows what it's going to be like eventually. Get some more sticks. Get some more grass. Leave those things alone. I was thinking about sneaking up on one of them and maybe attacking them just to see how much damage I would do and how much health they have. Because, you know, they were asleep. But before I could try to do that, they woke up. So I was like, oh, can't try that. Yeah, see, there they go. It's morning now, so they woke up. I would have to like attack them and then like book it for my ship. So yeah, just collecting stuff. I was kind of hoping these trees would have more mushrooms. Those mushrooms are actually pretty useful. But nah. Seriously, how do these trees not have like coconuts or something? All trees in games on tropical islands have coconuts. There's a bush within a bush. Okay, time to push the boat out. Once I organize my inventory. I don't really remember what I was thinking right here. I was just kind of just messing around, I guess. Stuff, see what works, see what I wanted to do. I think I might have accidentally misclicked on a few things. Man, come on, guy. Sail or get off the boat. Like I said, I think I misclicked on a lot of things. It's kind of, like I said, it's really weird. Yeah, I actually stepped off the boat because I think I kept accidentally hitting interact when I didn't want to. Oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to put the meat on here because I didn't know when I was going to get another fire again. And of course, just as I do that, the fire goes out. Because no, fires do not stay forever. Why would they? So you got to light it. Luckily, all it takes is grass. It doesn't require like fire or anything, which is kind of funny. Again, so it's like, okay, so the fire goes out, but you don't need anything to start it. Like, okay, whatever, game. Survival games like this are weird with their logic. Like even Breath of the Wild required you to have flint. I don't know, just weird. These kind of games, man. Like I said, they're not always for me, but you know, I do like crafting. I loved doing that kind of stuff in Breath of the Wild and collecting material and all that other stuff. But at least there, like I said, Link didn't have a hunger meter or anything. Don't have to worry about that too much, but whatever. And I didn't have to wait forever for a meal to cook. These things like have to give you back a lot of hunger because you waste half of it just waiting for it to cook. Just riveting stuff. I wish I had like an instrument to play or something. I also hope that this doesn't like attract like predators or something later on in the game or something. That would be bad. La di da di da di da. Got the little creature back there just hopping around. I haven't seen I don't think any predators. I think everything I've seen so far have been like herbivores and stuff. So it's like they must live really peacefully here with no predators. Maybe I'm the predator. So it does seem like the animals and some of the food does respawn after like a day has passed. This is when I noticed that I'm like, oh, the berries are back. And so I'm like, either I forgot to collect them or they just respawn after a day, and I think they just respawn. But considering how much your hunger goes down in a day. I'm pretty sure it's just enough to like even everything out. Like even the mushroom is back. So yeah, it's like you could farm a little bit, I guess. But like I said, I think they do go bad, so maybe that wouldn't really work. Maybe that's why they do go bad, because if they didn't, then you would just farm them forever. But it's nice to know I could always come back here and like get some more food and stuff if I needed it. Though again, if I sail too far away, would it really be worth it? Okay. Back to sailing. I saw a little island over there, so I'm like, okay, I'll go there. Doesn't look like there could be much there, but you know. You never know until you try. I guess having those little beams of light is useful to know where you've been and where you haven't. Because it's like, oh, I've been there because there's a big beam of light shooting out of it. Maybe that's the purpose of them. Just to tell you, like, hey, you've been here before. Because, like I said, there doesn't seem to be a map. At least I haven't gotten one yet. And what do I find on this island? Pots. Smash. Bamboo. What do you know? Hulk smash. And sea shards. Not sure what they're used for, but I'm sure we'll see. All right, time to go over there. That looks interesting. This is when I was thinking to myself, well, is there any like wildlife that's going to attack me while this? Because this was like a long stretch of water. I was like, man, there could be anything under that water. Terrifying thought. I already know there's some kind of sea monster from that opening cutscene. And this is when I also decided to try to get a sail. Because I was like, I might as well try this out. But I picked like the worst time to do it. Because as you'll see, the wind was actually blowing away from the island that I was trying to get to. So this was like the worst time to try to do that. Also, not to mention, if my inventory was full, the stuff that I crafted, it might have like fallen into the water or something like that. I don't know how it works, but luckily I have inventory space. So yeah, there we go. And you got to raise the sail, you can loosen it, you can tighten it. It's a little weird. As you can see, the wind is blowing away from the island though, so that was really stupid of me. Probably should have checked to see which way the wind was blowing first. Sail into the wind. And I was just like, whoa, whoa. I was like trying to get this to work, and it wasn't really working too well. See, I guess if you have the wind going with you, a sail would be great. But when it's not, it doesn't seem like it's that useful. And so here's the funny thing, I tried to go back to rowing, and it doesn't seem to let you. Like, you can only have, you can either row or you can sail. Even though my rowing thing is right there, I can't seem to get it to row. So I actually have to dismantle the sail, which gets me all of my crafting stuff back, which is good. So it's not like you wasted anything. But still, it was kind of a waste of time, is what it was. And unfortunately, even wasting your time in this game is bad because that makes your hunger go down and stuff. So, not a good thing to waste in this game. I was trying to figure out how I do all this stuff. I was like, did I really screw myself? Did I accidentally like make it so I can't row anymore? And then I saw, oh, dismantle. Okay. So I just started rowing again. I'm like, I mean, I'm just gonna stick to rowing. Why not? Maybe if I get a better boat later on, I can get better sails. And that's why I noticed the sparkling thing in the ocean. I was like, oh, I saw that earlier, but I couldn't get to it. Now let's see what it is. But of course, I can't go down there and get it, like I said. So unfortunately, it's kind of like, I don't know if that's something you can unlock, but it's like, it seems weird that you can clearly, your character can swim, but they can't dive under the water. I don't know. I don't know, man. Just one of those video game logic kind of things. See, it's right there. And I even tried to get out and try to press a button that would get me to like dive under, but nothing. So I don't know. Maybe you have an attachment to your boat that you can pick up stuff with, but I don't know. Right now, just can't do anything with it. Whoop. And I'm kind of floating on my boat there. Yeah, the collision in this game is kind of weird sometimes. Like you saw, I T-posed up that tree earlier, so... Yeah, kind of weird. I was kind of low on hunger, so I decided to eat. Time to go to this rather interesting looking group of islands. So this place looks important. This is when I realized, like, oh, I probably shouldn't be sprinting everywhere because that lowers my stamina and hunger. Just a lot of strange things going on in this game right now. A lot of visual storytelling going on too. Yeah, this main character kind of looks like she could come out of Breath of the Wild, like one of the Sheikah or something like that. She kind of looks like one of them. When I first saw this, I was like, oh god, it's a combat arena. But it's actually not. I feel like these little storytelling murals or whatever could be very misinterpreted. Like if I posted that on Twitter, people would probably go crazy by misinterpreting it. Something tells me that'll make sense later. First crossing rejection. So at this point, I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is probably a good place to stop for today. I know my game was just saved and everything, so I just walked up here and I was like, oh, yep, I'm going to stop here for now. So that's Windbound. Tell me what you guys thought of it, and maybe I'll play some more of it, and I'll see you next time.